Fire is an imagined death sentence for forests, eradicating everything in its path. That's what has been taught to us. For over a century, California has governed itself based on that assumption. Instead, fire suppression has stimulated higher severity, catastrophically destructive fires. What was thought bad before has looked even worse, and a vicious cycle has been established. This reality raises the question, is fire really a problem, or is it a vital participant in maintaining ecosystems? Oak trees make the answer to this question expressly clear. They don't just survive fires, they depend upon them. North American oaks are incredibly versatile, colonizing new environments with their incredible resistance to temperature extremes, and most notably, to fire. While fires wipe out many other plant species, the oak has developed a beneficial adaptation to withstand such instances, giving it an advantage when fire clears its ecosystem of competitors. Considering a video I made in the past, coast live oak is actually the most resistant oak variety in California. The tree has thick bark with very little dead, burnable tissue, along with roots insulated by cork, serving as fire protection. Coast live oaks often resprout from the roots after just 2 months following fires, giving them a head start over the other non-oak species who have to start over from seed banks in the soil. Roots can actually be the most effective method to survival, as a study of a Stanford wildfire revealed. Coast live oaks in the surveyed area had the most top kills of their canopies, but also the quickest regrowth from roots compared to other oak species in the area. And that's definitely far more impressive compared to species who don't even have the capability of growing from roots. A study conducted in the incredibly fire-prone Southern California San Bernardino forest further illuminates the coast live oak's resilience in the face of fire, as in a severe wildfire that ran through the area, only 4% of the coast live oaks in the area actually succumbed to the flames. And that's an incredibly low statistic. Many assume fire to be a process best left to nature, and they associate any intentional human burning of natural spaces as an example of arson. Unfortunately, this perception has led to ecological degradation, as fire is a key source of enrichment for many ecosystems, especially in California. However, Native Americans have recognized fire's benefits long ago, believing that instead it actually increases environmental health and provides material benefits to them, such as increased yields of culturally significant native and staple foods. One such cultural food icon are acorns, and they're a delicacy produced every fall by coast live oaks and live oaks alike. The acorns were particularly prized by Native Americans, and they still are, for their high nutritional value and for their scrumptious taste. Native Americans conducted cultural burnings each fall, creating deeply fertile ash used to enrich soil around the bases of coast live oaks and stimulate higher future acorn yields. Pathogens and insects are also often inhabitants of fallen acorns each fall. And so the burnings coincide with the goal of removing these possible sources of disease and preventing them from metastasizing from the ground upward into the tree that bore them. Regretfully, practices of fire suppression have become the norm, and oak populations in California have suffered. Oaks perform prolifically in sparsely wooded scrub or grassland areas. Imagine a golden savanna filled with native grasses, touched by the sun and browned nicely in the late summer. And you can see the gnarled oaks scrambled throughout the landscape with their limbs pointed in all directions, unimaginably old. And in my mind, that actually fills me with a feeling of reverence. But unfortunately, that scene is ever increasingly becoming lost. Without fire management practices that are allowing for fire to actually become prevalent in the ecosystem, these landscapes are becoming grown over. And this is due to governmental legislation that California has enacted and has prevented Native Americans and even natural fire processes from being present here. And these areas are increasingly becoming replaced by thick groves of trees, often outcompeting the oaks that actually do better in the sparsely wooded landscape, because their competitor, the pine, which is comparably actually vulnerable to fire, and now has no actual enemy or no actual check against its growth. The Dixie Fire in the Sierra Nevadas demonstrated that these deteriorated woodlands can actually experience revitalization and renewal, with fire actually reinvigorating the landscape back to its previous majestic vitality. Shortly after this pernicious fire that devastated acres of land with its severity, blue oaks were the only apparent species that seemed to be respouting and making a comeback. This result encouraged Professor Scott Stevens, who I had the privilege of learning from in this class, to advocate for increased fire stewardship practices that would actually allow fire to be a present asset on the land, and through a partnership with the mountain Maidu, allowed for local knowledge to actually increase the health and beauty of the landscape, returning it back to what it looked like for millennia. Clearly, the coast live oak and many oak species alike hold fire as integral to their ability to thrive. This relationship acts as a case study, as other California plant species have developed similar beneficial adaptations to fire. With fire suppression's disconnection of such a vital relationship, the balance of ecosystems has been altered, and destructive fires due to fuel buildup are likely to occur. Shifting to Native American land stewardship strategies, as I've spoken about earlier in the video, seems to be a necessary part of California's future. We must learn to follow the example set by Native Americans in the past, showing that fire's inclusion can simultaneously benefit people and the environment. Thank you all for watching the video, and I hope you all learned a thing or two about fires, oaks, and Native American land stewardship. And I'd like you to suggest in the comments any other future concepts you'd like me to speak about in future videos. And I'm looking forward to posting a slew of videos on the Panama trip that I was on, as you've already seen a few videos in the past, but I have far more highlighting the unique fauna present in Panama that I really enjoyed witnessing, and I'm sure you guys would like to see as well. And I wanted to have a quick disclaimer and also a thank you, because this video is actually my final project for my class SPM 22 AC, which outlined fires in great detail and allowed me to understand in ways that I didn't before why exactly Southern California is so fire prone and why such high severity fires have been popping up so often lately. So I'd like to thank Professor Scott Stevens and Professor Peter Nelson for all of their great lessons that they taught me in the class throughout this semester. And I look forward to learning more about fires in the future and hopefully even spending time in a forestry camp if that's something available to me in one of the summers in the future. So thank you all for watching the video, and I hope you guys have a good day or night wherever you are. Throughout my research for this video, I stumbled upon an interesting question that I myself don't have a complete answer for, which is, why exactly is there such a wide amount of speciation of live oaks in California, whereas in Florida, there's comparably really none? In Florida, you'll only have the southern live oak and a subspecies, the sand oak, whereas in California, just to name a few, you'll see the coast live oak, the scrub oak, and the leather oak. So if you guys know in the comments why exactly such a speciation event occurred in California and it did not occur in Florida, please let me know. So you may be wondering where I actually filmed this video, and I'm actually currently leaving the UC Botanical Garden, and I would like to give them a huge thank you for allowing me to secure all my footage here. It's incredibly beautiful, and it's a special place to be able to visit, because it actually contains such a wide breadth of different ecosystems that you can witness and feel as if you're transported to really different parts of the world. And so I've really appreciated coming here just to visit, and to be able to have this resource as part of the university and to be able to come here for free is incredible. So I'd highly recommend anybody who's a UC Berkeley student or just in the area to come check it out. And it was especially helpful that they had the Blue Oak Savanna here, which I was able to showcase as a part of my video. So thank you.